and good morning, and welcome back to another episode of JPod, Jefferson District's very own podcast. I'm your host, Superintendent Brad Capener, and I'm joined today by my two co-hosts, Chris Shaw and Becca Mallory. Good morning, guys. How are you today?
Good morning. How are you?
Awesome.
Doing good. Good morning. I'm here.
We are in December.
Oh my gosh, isn't that crazy?
This year has just flown by.
It has flown by, and we are almost to winter break, and that is a fun, nice thing to think about for everybody in this room, I'm sure.
2 weeks away.
Yes. Just so everybody knows, in the community, our podcast is designed to strengthen the connection between our community and our schools. This is our 21st episode. These episodes are available on our website, and so you can go back and listen to others and see what it is that we've covered if you haven't had a chance to listen. And we encourage you to do so because there's a lot of really good information about what's going on in our schools that you might be interested in knowing. We talked about events coming up. We described programs on how they function, and we interview students and teachers regarding various topics. And today we're doing that very thing. We are here and really excited to be having a conversation today at Jefferson High School, talking with members of our cheer team and our cheer coach, Amber Houghton. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
We have Trysten Reid, who's a junior. We have Imogene Schwarz, who's a senior, and we have Birelle Reeves, who's a junior, joining us this morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to be with us in this podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this is awesome. First, I just have to say how impressed I am with the development of this team. You know, I would watch you guys at football games, and just the coordination and the athleticism and I don't know. I was just super impressed. You guys are going some places, and I really appreciate that. Cheer is really a sport, and it's really athletic, and it's hard, right?
Yes.
And so I thought maybe we could just talk a little bit about the competitions of the team and what you participate in, and a little bit about your experience being in cheer this morning. But if we could start with you, Coach Houghton, and just to let us know, this is your second year, is that correct, with this team?
Yes, this is my second year.
And so you've seen the development, right, from when you came in to now they're in competitions. Last year they were not. So can you give us a little bit of, what you've seen and how they've grown over the last couple of years?
Well, yeah, so last year when I first came in, we were kind of coming out of COVID, right? So cheer was kind of on the back burner. And we had, people who were really trying to have that cheer team still present, but weren't maybe really sure what to do. So when I first came in, they weren't stunting. They were pretty much doing sideline dances and some cheers, some interesting cheers, coordinated. And so we did a lot of team building. We did a lot of skill building. We've gone to several skill camps. We basically went from not doing any stunts to doing extravagant stunts, and progressing to going to away games, because it sounded like maybe we weren't doing away games and we really want to support our teams. So now this year we've started doing comps. They've had 2 comps already.
2 competitions. And where have these competitions been?
One was in Philomath and one was in Sherwood. Yes, up close to Portland. And it was awesome.
Yes, it was amazing.
Was it like a culture shock? So fun fact, in my high school days, I was in competition cheer.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember there was such a big difference between performing at games versus performing in a competition. Like there's so much more pressure involved. And what do you guys think of it?
Yeah, it was a culture shock for competitions. Definitely. Like it did. I got just reminded of our halftime shows, but I kind of put myself in that place to help me calm down. I'm like, it's just a crowd. We've done this before. It's the same. We're just getting more judged. So, I mean, it's definitely motivates you more to do extra good though. Yeah.
It was crazy to see all the other cheer teams, because normally we don't see a lot of the cheer teams because they don't come to our games usually. And so it was really weird to see 20 other cheer teams. It was really interesting to be able to go there and watch everyone else's routine. We described it as sharing routines with each other. We just want to show each other because everyone is so supportive at these competitions and they're all like cheering you on. And it's less of a rivalry and more of like, this is what we all do. Like, this is something we all have in common and we all get along from it.
I love that. It's
Wow.
not like those cheerleader movies that we know.
And I think that was really important for them too because they were very nervous. Like the whole bus ride there, right? It was like silent. There was not a lot of chit chat. There's lots of questions beforehand. Well, what's it going to be like? And I said, yeah, it is really intense. It is very intense, but you're only out there for 3 minutes. And then,
Really?
you know what? Yeah, 3 minutes. That's it. And it's a very tiring 3 minutes, right?
Yes.
So
Oh my gosh.
they run off the mat and they're,
Physically and emotionally.
yeah, you're lifting people up. You're nonstop moving. I mean, you don't stop at all. And so it was really fun to watch. At the end of their first competition, they actually had another team when they came out. So you like exit and you go around through another room and then they come out and they got cheered to sit down by all these teams. Like, this is their very first competition. It was amazing.
That's
That's
so
great.
it's very like pumps you up more.
In what other sport do you get that kind of support
I was thinking
from
the same
from the
thing.
other
Absolutely.
teams?
Yeah, I was
Right.
thinking
Yeah.
the same thing because usually it's very much a rivalry.
Right.
You get through and they're like, wow, you guys really sucked, or
Yeah.
just to like beat you down because they want to do better or feel better. But the fact that it's not like that is really awesome.
Mhm.
And other coaches have come up and been like, this is your guys' first competition. This is your second competition. Oh my gosh, you guys look amazing.
That's great.
It's really good. They work really hard in practice. I'm sure they get very frustrated because it's like, wow, we got to do that again for that 100th time.
Well, that must be really, I don't know, also really gratifying and helpful to see other teams because, you know, you're competing and doing your thing, but then, you know, watching and seeing what other teams can do can probably up your game a little bit too, right? You know, oh, we could try that, right?
Well, also, when you're doing stuff like that in a vacuum and not seeing how other people perform, it's hard to see just how good you are until you can compare yourself to other people.
Yeah. And it's crazy when you go there and you see a team perform and they do amazing and then they drop a stunt and you keep going and they clearly have worked so hard for this and you don't get another chance. You don't get to go back and do it twice. You don't have 40 more minutes to try to make points. You don't have, you know, to throw touchdowns or make baskets or
Right.
or hit a home run. You have 3 minutes and that's it.
So
Take
when
your
you say you have
break.
3 minutes and that's it, so I mean, are there like you do yours and then is there like you come back an hour later and you do another 3 minutes or
Nope.
you
It's we go, yeah, we try not to watch other people before we perform, to be honest.
Right,
Because and usually we're one of the first groups anyway. But that really can throw people off. They're like, oh my gosh, they were amazing and now I have to go out there and do this. So and we don't want them getting in their head. And so we wait until afterwards and we absolutely go out and cheer the people. But you go into a practice room, you have less than 5 minutes to practice on the mat. And then you go into the next room to be on deck and you stand there and wait and listen for music. And then they announce you, you run out. You now see this huge crowd. We play the music, they go, and then they spirit off. And then that's it. And in 3 minutes, they're judged by 5 people who tell them all the things that they're doing wrong. So, I mean, it's really intense.
Yeah.
Brutal. We get 3 minutes to show like the months and like so long we put into this, and we get those 3 minutes on like what we're judged on. It's terrifying, but it's always worth it.
Is there always that? Is it the same in cheer? There's always that one judge who's just, you know, you can't please them.
Yes.
You know?
At least, yeah.
You give
We
them
don't
a
believe in
2
10.
or something, you know, or whatever, you know, and they're like super critical. Is that
And
that?
she's been at both of our competitions.
She's been at both. and she will be at the next every single one of them.
Yeah.
And so it is good to see her score sheet though. To see like, okay, did we impress her enough to get a better score on something else? Or, did they say, okay, these motions were sharp, push through this, jumps are a little wonky. Like whatever she says, we try to make that score sheet be the one that's like progressive.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about the skills and what it is you're asked to do. So there's skill levels. There's different skill levels in cheer, and you guys have stunts that you do, but you don't just go out and start throwing people around up in the air, right?
No, you'd break your neck.
You break your neck,
Yeah.
right? So how does it start? Like, where are you guys in your skill development, and what are you heading to next?
So right now,
If you wouldn't mind saying your name, so people know who you are.
I'm Trysten Reid, but right now our skill level is we're working on our extension ones. So that's when you're holding the person above your head.
Oh yeah.
We've got a liberty occasionally there. We're trying to get it constantly, like every single time we do it, we're getting there. And then we've also got just a full extension. So it's both feet are above our head, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it, but
Yeah. Is it one person or two? Do two people hold a person up?
yeah, two people hold a person up. So me and Imogene are the main bases, and then Birelle is our flyer. So me and Imogene, we're on one on each side. So each of us have one of her foot. And then there's also a person in the back helping support. And then Birelle is the one standing above our heads. And that's really hard because you are an entire extra, probably 5-6 feet off the ground. And you have to stay stiff and still and like clenching your core, everything. Like it takes a lot of mental and physical strength.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine. Brielle, is that really hard? I mean, did it take you a while to really master being able to stay up there like that?
It definitely took me a while. Last year I was like, we were just learning how to do these stunts. Our entire stunt group was new, and like all of us were learning together. And we got really far. I think we did really good for being our first year last year. And then now this year we've learned a little more. We're still working with newer people as like we've lost some of our older people.
Okay.
But I think being a flyer is something that I've always wanted to do. So this is something that I've pretty much worked my entire life for. So when I'm stunting, I feel like that's one of the things that makes me feel like really just calm and happy. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And it can be, like Trysten said, it can be really difficult to stay up there and stay still because it takes a lot of balance, and I'm very uncoordinated. So it's difficult, but I think a lot of people are able to do it. Like if they're willing to try, they're able to do it. And that is especially what Amber has taught us a lot is if you're willing to try, you can do it.
Yeah, anything you work hard for, you can accomplish. Like, cheer is not something you have to just naturally be good at. You have to put in a lot of work.
Sure.
But
It takes a lot of time.
It takes so much time and work and dedication. But you get there and you get good, and it's worth it.
It's very
So
gratifying when you get there. Yeah.
Like any sport, any like music, you don't just start playing the trumpet, and performing, right? You have to learn how to do it incrementally.
I imagine it also takes a lot of trust building to be
Yeah,
lifted
that's what I
up
was
and
thinking
know
about.
that your teammates have got you if you fall and they're going to catch you. And I imagine it just takes a lot of work just building that trust relationship as well.
And they're downplaying their skill level too because they've gotten extension several times, but they're working on twist downs, which are definitely advanced. We do that in 5A, 6A, right? And we've landed it several times. It's scary for sure.
Well, what is that though? I mean, twist downs. You're throwing the person. The flyer is going flying and twisting at the same time.
So she's up in a extension, and when they release, they count 1, 2 down, and when they toss her, she twists in the air and comes down. And it's actually very hard because you have to at the same time because you're standing, this way. Lateral, right? Or vertical. And you have to then make yourself twist in the air and get flat before you get down.
And it's
like
such a short amount of
It
time.
is such a short time.
I was a base, and that was one of my
Yeah.
least favorites only because through practice I got kicked in the face a few times.
Oh,
So it was like,
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm okay. But yeah, it was like, okay, here we go again. Don't kick me.
Yeah.
I stepped on my base's head like yesterday.
Yeah, so much.
So
But that's what it is. It's I get kicked in the neck 30 times and then I got the stunt. Okay, now we're good. And then occasionally sometimes you'll do the stunt and something happens and you get kicked in the neck again and you're like, ah. But it's much more I think for them, they get super excited. I mean, right as soon as the stunt comes down, they're like jumping up and down, screaming because they got the stunt.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, we
It's a
take
big
videos of it
accomplishment.
because we're like, okay.
And I suppose
Look at
the
this.
public doesn't necessarily know what everything. They're just like, oh yeah, that's what they do,
Yeah.
right? But,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
really hard stuff.
She was born with it.
They don't
Yeah.
see the practices. They don't see the workouts and practices and all of the effort that we put into it. They just see the games and the smiles. And that's not all cheer is. It's not just shaking your palms on the sideline.
Right.
It's a lot of workouts and hard work. And I think a lot of people don't realize how difficult cheer is.
I remember you mentioning that they had practice through Thanksgiving break.
They did.
Yeah.
You
They did. I gave them
Right.
Thanksgiving off.
And the day after.
And the day
And the
after.
day
But they also, I think the majority of them, if not all of them, understand that when you have a competition coming up, like you want to go out there and get, you know, their goal is to be in the top 3 in these big competitions. And that you can't skip, you know, you can't skip days like that. Championship teams don't skip practices.
Right.
They hate it. They go to practice, right? But they love it in the end, which is the goal. I think they have bigger goals, which makes them more dedicated.
So what's next for you guys? I mean, basketball season's coming, right?
Uh-huh.
We're here in basketball
Yes.
season.
Just started.
Yeah, just started. So, and you probably don't do everything you would do in a competition in a basketball game, or do you do the same?
We do our competition routine at halftimes. So, I mean, yes, we do all of our competition at games, but we also do more, like we doing sideline cheers, which we don't do in our routine.
Uh-huh.
And we're also doing a variety of stunts multiple different times than just the 2 that we have.
In the routine.
Yeah.
And so for competitions, what's next? What's the next level or the next competition
When
coming
their
up?
next competition.
On December 9th.
December 9th? Oh, really? It's coming up. Oh.
That's really soon.
And then we have one on January 13th in Sweet Home. And then we have 2 huge ones. One is state and for OSAA, and then one is OCCA state, which is like cheerleading association. That's like a big deal. You can go places like Florida and Disneyland to
Whoa.
perform if you make it in the top level. So our goal is to get
Go to
Yeah.
Disneyland. That's what I do.
Yeah. We want to go to
Yeah.
Disneyland.
Yeah, right.
You know what's funny is as you guys were talking about the whole like 3 minutes, right? You work up so hard for that 3 minutes. I was thinking it's like a ride at Disneyland. You wait in line for 5 hours for a 30-second joyride, and then you're done.
Yeah.
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 That's really cool. You guys, so we're so impressed that you're representing Jefferson in this way and all the hard work that's going into it. We really value that. And so thank you for being in cheer. And I know there's many other people on the team as well that aren't here today, right? So thank you to all who are listening, all the members of the team. You guys are incredible. What would you say, we're about out of time, so what would you say to anybody who's like in 8th grade, maybe who's thinking about cheer, or maybe somebody even in high school who's thinking about cheer? Can anybody join? What would you say to them? And then also about boys, I know that there's a boy on the squad, and you're always looking for more. So, what would you say to prospective boys who might be interested as well?
Yeah, so I would say to anyone who's interested, I know there's a lot of stereotypes around cheerleaders and us not being very welcoming, but I promise to you, we will always welcome you with open arms. All we want is the best for the program. And I'm not just saying that for you to join. I genuinely mean it. Like, my best friends are on this team. And I'm not just friends with anyone. Like, I have to earn that. So, just if you're interested, give it a try. We have tryouts and we have open gyms. Before you have to fully dedicate, you can come and see if it's your thing. And if you like it, welcome to stay. And if you don't, then you don't. And for any guys who are interested, you're also welcome. Like, you're going to be the one doing one man's lifting people up. Like, we're all doing that, but it's a fun opportunity.
I think for anyone joining the team, like Trysten said, there's a lot of stereotype around being a cheerleader and how cheerleaders are so mean and how it's just one very specific group of girls. And I think our cheer team is a lot different than the stereotypes because our team is really diverse. We're all really accepting. I think a lot of us are really, really like nice people. Some of us are really quiet, but I know that every single one of us that you will talk to, you will always get a nice response. You will always get like a friend. And for anyone wanting to join the team, try it out. Like, don't just give up just because you think you can't. At least go and try. Never just give up because you think you can't. It's not worth not trying. And for boys, you can feel strong, you can lift people up, you get to have fun, and then you can look cool in front of your friends lifting people up. So I say give it a try if you are interested even at all. We like having new people come in. We like teaching people new things. And we like having people at tryouts, at least trying.
Imogene?
I would honestly encourage guys to join the team because, like, for stunting, it would be really fun to have, like one guy lifting a whole person up. And that's something I've always wanted to do. And it's not like you have to, like, wear a skirt or do anything you don't want to do. Like, you don't have to become a girl just to be on cheer. And I think it would be good for anyone. And if you're even thinking about it, you can always just try.
Thank you. Well, there it is. Trysten Reid, Imogene Schwarz, and Birelle Reeves. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for making the team as rich and competitive and a good place to be. And to Coach Houghton, thank you so much for your efforts in leading this team. Good luck in the competitions to come.
Thank you.
And that does it for JPod today. And we will see you again next Friday. Okay.
Sweet.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Thank you.